there. The giggle twins.
I know, here we start off.
I was just tickled at the way she did the countdown.
I know, it was wonderful.
Great job, though. She's a great
I
counter.
thought she was waving at us to tell you the truth.
No. Welcome to Cookin Cheap. I'm Larry Bly.
I'm Doug Patterson, and we're Cookin Cheap. Oh, we said that, didn't we? Oi.
I know what we're having, but it smells mighty good.
Sure does.
It really does. So let's find out the which cometh immediately. Soon.
Sort of.
Kind of.
Ooh, nice stop.
Ah.
Ka-chewy! Oh, he blew it.
You got to get close to the camera guy.
I just had my eyes dilated.
Jim is
Give
out
me a
there.
break.
You know, we're going to lose a camera one of these days. Dear boys, casseroles.
What about them?
My mother refuses to make them anymore, so I'd like to try my hand at this. Got any good casserole recipes you might do on the air?
How about
Which reminds me of that old rock and roll group, the Flaming Casseroles. Do you remember them? Oh, well, I think they went out of business when that Presley guy came along. Well, thanks, Leroy LaFleur. So there you go. Doesn't say where Leroy is from.
Hunger, I think.
I'm going to do a casserole.
So am I.
I'm going to do one. I am.
So am I.
I've already done it, and it turned out real pretty. From Dolly Mullins of Wise, Virginia. I do believe we've done some recipes previously from Dolly. I'm almost certain.
What's it called?
Or was that Dolly Woods? That was somebody. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Did you say what you're doing, though?
Oh,
what kind?
Plantation casserole.
Yes, you do. There it is.
Did I say that?
No, he did not.
That. Okay.
I'm doing a meat and vegetable casserole sent in by Mary Drazdak from Conway, South Carolina.
South Carolina? We don't get very many from down there.
Isn't that exciting?
The wind doesn't blow right with the signal, you know. Chocolate chip pie is going to be done by Doris, sent in by the Grammel family.
Grammels.
I guess that's how you say it, from Yorktown, Virginia, G-R-A-M-L. Oh, I don't know what that would be pronounced as. Well, I got to get started because this has to be done in two parts. Part one.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Take a little baking dish. Needs to be bigger than this one, but this is all we got. Spray it real good, because this makes an awful lot of stuff. It really does. And we'll take, well, you can use either 2 cups of cooked ham or chicken chopped. So I went on ahead and got chicken, and I just chopped it very coarsely in my Cuisinart at home. Pre-cooked it, chopped it. You think we need one that big? We probably do. Yeah, that's fine. Well, I mean, give me a chance to say yes or no here. All right, thank you. We're going to use a bigger one. Because it says an 12 by 8. So anyway, that's a right big baking dish. So anyway, you take the chicken, chop it, or the ham if you prefer that, and then you take a can of peas, put it in there, and cream-style corn, and put it in there. And let's see what else. Isn't that looking pretty? And also we need cubed cheese, which is American process. And the only way I can find it is an individual thing, so I just take those and cube them like so. I've looked around, you can't find it. You can find the professional stuff for restaurants. It's about as close as you can get. I guess you could use Velveeta. Don't you reckon?
You could use Velveeta for anything in my book.
She says it's a big difference, you can't.
Oh.
Okay. Well, Ms. Doris, our authority, has spoken on that one right there. 1/3 of a cup of evaporated milk. Give or take just a little bit. 1/4 of a cup of onions chopped. Goes in there. That's a little more than 1/4. I just used up a whole onion. And a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce goes in there. Also, a nice healthy shaking. And this is the first part. Tell me I didn't leave anything out, Doris. Well, that's a miracle, isn't it? This spoon feels like it's getting ready to fall apart on me. Oh, they're just that way. Okay. Alrighty, so anyway you do that. Is everything in there? Peas, style corn, processed American cheese, evaporated milk, chopped onion, Worcestershire sauce. And this is kind of a strange little recipe in that I assume, from what I can tell, and I read this very carefully when I was doing it at home, that you kind of have to mound it in the center of this thing and pre-bake it for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. If it had a little flour to bind it together, it probably would mound a little better because, well, even this is running out of space. So anyway, what you have to do is kind of form it like this. I'm going to form it with my hands.
What a guy.
It's much easier. Form it like this. Because what you're going to do is you're going to pour your batter around it after this is set up a little bit. So your cheese melts in there and put it in the oven, 400 degrees. Now, the next thing you do is go to Doug.
Oh, am I on?
Yeah.
How am I doing? First thing you do is you get 6 cups of shredded cabbage.
10 minutes.
And I want you to know I'm doing this by hand. I did one of those cheaty
You really
things.
are.
Aren't you proud? Oh. I find out it's about three-quarters of a, maybe a large head of cabbage will get you your 6 cups. And then you're going to slice a medium onion, and that's phase 1. And then we'll go into phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. This thing takes forever. It's just like 3 million things.
Don't let it phase you.
The things I put up with around here.
Now, what is this stuff you're making?
It's called meat and vegetable casserole.
You know what? I thought you were going to make some sort of rolled things.
Oh, like cabbage rolls?
Hmm?
Like cabbage rolls?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm tired of this.
I'm going to need
I'm
another
stopping.
mixing bowl.
There you go. You got a nice little pile of shredded cabbage. Now, take your onion, slice it. We're going to layer this casserole, and it's done in a skillet. It's not baked. It's done in the skillet. Isn't that cool?
Do it either way. Good.
They're not listening to me. They really
Mixing
don't
bowl.
care.
I'm
ladies and
having a
gentlemen.
big conversation with Doris.
You
She's
always-
trying to assist me over here in the
Oh, I'm
corner
sorry.
on the next big portion of the show.
Okay.
We're rehearsing.
Oh,
Please try and maintain.
okay. Now, take 2 tablespoons of butter.
Boy, that's a lot of stuff there, Doug.
How about it? 2 tablespoons of butter. Throw it in the bottom of your pan. Like I said, Larry, I don't know if you were listening or
A
not.
long time.
He's
more
not.
Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
This is not baked in the oven.
Oh.
It's all done on a skillet.
Get
on-
out of
on the
here.
top. See ya.
No, no, no. I don't
Oh.
mean that. Just stay here. I'm
And so I'm
sorry.
going to continue slicing my onion. And after you get this in, put the first layer will be your cabbage and your onions in the melted butter. Toss it to coat. And then we're going to go to layer number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, we're on layer number 2.
I want to tell you, Harold has done a superb job on those knives.
I know, isn't it great?
Mine was just fabulous
I wish
today.
you'd come over to my house and do it.
Wonderful job, Harold.
We love him.
Yeah, wouldn't it be nice? You know, my granddaddy used to do that at home all
Well, you
the
know,
time.
there
He
used
always,
to be people who used to go around to
did.
your houses and do your scissors and your
when my
knives
granddaddy
and
had
everything.
lots of time to spare sitting around, he'd go out on the front porch and sit around and do all the scissors
Really?
and do the saws and
That's cool.
all that stuff. We
That
haven't had
is
anything sharp since he passed
so
away.
Cool. Except
Go ahead.
I'm just waiting for my butter to melt.
I'm the sharpest thing that's come along in the family since then.
And there's a sad commentary on that, ladies and gentlemen.
Certainly is. Sad, isn't it?
But we like you anyway.
Is something going to happen soon?
Well, I'm about to throw my old cabbage. Here we go.
Ooh.
Boom. Layer, layer, layer.
All right.
Isn't that impressive? That
Is it supposed to be scaldy hot when you put it in there?
No.
Oh,
No, that's the
okay.
thing. You put it on sort of medium low
Mm-hmm.
when you first start, and that's all you do. Then you turn it even down further because you're going to let it cook for about 30 minutes. That's when you get all your layers put together.
Huh.
And so that's good enough. Now, take your onions, put those on top. And that doesn't look yummy. And then we're going to toss this to coat it in the melted butter.
I see.
And then we go to phase 2.
See, I'm paying attention now.
That's about time.
Well,
Jeez.
we were.
Usually you blow me off so bad around this show.
Well, what Doris and I have decided on this recipe, there is a little interpretation involved in this thing.
Oh.
It says that the second part of what I'm going to do here is to make a nice little, I guess it's sort of a bread crust type thing, wouldn't you say? So anyway, it says what you do is you put this in for 10 minutes at 400 degrees, which is in there right now, and then you combine everything I'm going to show you next, and you put it around the hot meat mixture, leaving the center uncovered. So that's why I thought you had to mound it, but Doris says that you don't have to. You could probably just put it in flat and just pour it around the edges. I don't know, we'll see. I think you could do it either way. It's got to bake again anyway. Nothing is going to be raw. The chicken isn't even raw, it's already pre-cooked. Be careful.
I'm sorry.
I saw that.
I know that upsets you.
Oh my. I think maybe we better get that peeler out.
Oh, peeler
before he
schmealer.
takes the end of that thing off too.
I don't have
Turn this around. You're making me very nervous.
I always make you nervous.
Would you like to try a peeler? Have you ever done a peeler?
No, but I'm an appealing person.
No. There you go. There you go.
Okay,
See,
you feel better
that's
now?
Working. Yeah, we're all much relieved.
Well, gee, I live for that. you know.
Everybody was just concerned. We had nurses standing by there for a couple of minutes.
Well, good.
Yes, indeed.
It's about time.
You know, we keep them standing by here all the time.
Do you? Well, they should be.
That's a mighty big old tater. Going to take you a while to do that, isn't it?
So go ahead and do something.
Oh, well, let me check. Are we close on this? Huh? 3 minutes. We're running a strict thing here. Well, while we're waiting, I think I'll just take an egg and womp up on it here in this bowl in anticipation of everything else I'm going to do. Tell you what, let's do while we're waiting the additional 3 minutes and for you to get through potato number 2. You have to do 2 potatoes, don't you?
1 potato, 2
And 2
potatoes, 3
Let's
potato
go to the
four.
Cook Sisters. What do you think about
Okay.
that? Cook Sisters are here today to give us a little much-needed relief during this, our terrible period of the program.
Hey, Toots.
Huh?
Remember me?
Who are
Oh,
you?
for heaven's sake.
Actually, I know, I remember.
Oh, you're just an old kidder.
I know.
I have a little tip for you.
Oh,
I'm
what?
glad you stopped by because I wanted to tell you this. I've been meaning to tell you this for years.
Did I stop by or did you come see me?
No, you came to me.
Well, I thought I came. Oh, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you remember now?
What are we doing here?
I'm giving you a tip.
Well,
Do you
you don't
mind?
have to get so loud.
You know, when you're storing your cake, you got some leftover cake, you know what you do?
Eat it.
Well, yeah, true. I never thought of it that way.
There you go.
Well, anyway,
Ruined another good one.
You put a half a apple in it, cut that apple half, put it in the container. Your cake is as fresh as a daisy. Or
Oh,
whoever eat
come
daisy
on,
cake anyway, I
have
don't know.
Never. Where
I
did
never
you
did get a
get
recipe
this
for that.
stuff? I'm Tootsie Cook.
I'm Roxy Cook,
And
we're the Cook Sisters.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Doug is still grappling with this.
This thing.
That's a big one. There really is 2 large potatoes. Well, I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of this stuff in anticipation of using it in a couple of minutes. I've taken an egg and beaten it up, and you put a cup of biscuit mix in here. I've pre-measured it
What a
this
guy.
time. I know. Well, I had time on my hands. It was a rainy day. It was awful. And 2 tablespoons of sugar. 1, 2. And let's see, a half a cup of cornmeal goes in this also. Using up some stuff from previous shows, by the way. Isn't that nice?
This is a good thing.
And then you use the remainder of your evaporated milk. And just mix it around. I guess I could use well, that's all right, I don't need it. I was going to say I could use a different type of item here, but that's all right. This will do just fine. And hopefully by the time we get finished beating all of the stuff, and a half teaspoon of salt. Thank you. I don't have it over here, and that's why I forgot about it. Thank you. Half teaspoon of salt goes in there. There we go. That goes in. What are you doing now, Doug, while I'm mixing this batter?
I be slicing my potatoes because this is layer number 2. Layer number 2. And here we go. I don't know how these things are going to cook in time, but, you know, hey, who am I?
Oh!
I'll get it.
Excuse me, it's time to get up.
Time for my medication.
I swear it's the longest 10 minutes of my life. Okay. Now what I got to do while you're doing that is I'm going to pull this thing out. It's been in there for 10 minutes at 400 degrees. So it has baked a little bit. And it looks pretty much like it did when I put it in there. I don't even think the cheese is melted yet. But anyway, see now I like this because this is, I just think this is a pretty presentation. Doris thinks it's silly. But, you know.
That's what makes horse races.
That's what makes the world go round.
Oh.
What makes what?
Horse races.
Horse races. Okay. See,
Never
I
heard
just think this big old thing, this big old island, sort of reminds me of a Caribbean island I was on at one time. So there you go. Now, we're going to put that back in
Mount
the
chicken.
oven. Well, gee, Doug, do you think you could have got some? if I slip on some of these peels and hurt myself.
I just want to go on record that you asked me
peels all
to
over the
use the
floor.
peeler.
Okay, well, I know. So anyway, that goes back in the oven now for 20 minutes longer, and everything should be cooked by the time it comes out.
We
And
hope.
that's that. And I'm finished. Bye.
Okay,
See
here
you
we
all.
go.
Have a nice day.
Layer 2. You see? Layer 2.
Oh.
Potatoes.
Oh, okay.
Now guess what you put
Is
on?
this going to get done?
Well, not this one.
Oh.
You take a teaspoon.
20 years, I'm just figuring out how this works. Okay, go ahead.
Well, anyway, take a teaspoon of caraway seed. Now, I thought that was kind of interesting, caraway seeds.
Oh, it's
And you
hot.
put this on your potatoes.
You're right.
Now, you don't mix this kind of thing. Boop. There you go. Now, take 1 pound of ground meat. Now, I guess you could use pork, you could use
20
beef.
minutes
I'm going to
on
use beef. And you just dribble that on the top of the potatoes here.
Incredible.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't care.
Do you suppose this is done? Put my finger in it.
La la la.
I'm going to give it 2 more minutes.
Now, you take a 15-ounce can of tomato sauce and you pour that over the beef. This will give some of the liquid into this. Now, here comes the problem. Well, it's not a problem, really. It's just a little time consuming. You wait until this bubbles, and you have it on medium-low. Then you turn it down to low for 30, I'd say 30 to 35 minutes. You have to cook it. And boop, that's what it looks like.
I'll tell you one thing. It looks nice, and it smells great, too. It really does. It is just beautiful.
And there you go. Goodbye. See ya. Bye-bye.
You going to take all that home and eat it?
Nope.
You going to eat it all by yourself?
Nope.
Okay. Doris is here. Hey, Doris.
Hi. I had to make a chocolate chip pie, which was, I made 2 of them, so I had one yesterday, and it's pretty good. It takes 2 eggs, a half a cup of flour, half a cup of sugar, half a cup of brown sugar, 1 cup margarine melted and cooled to room temperature, 1 cup semi-sweet chocolate chips, 1 cup chopped pecans, 1 9-inch unbaked pie shell. And you bake it in the oven for at 325 for an hour. And it says serve warm with
Ice cream?
ice cream, but this is not warm. But we ate it last night, not warm. But it is very
It must be mighty good because
very
Harold
chocolatey.
is standing behind camera number 3 licking his chops.
I don't
even
know.
now.
It had an awful lot of chocolate in it, and Harold's not a chocolate person.
But he liked it.
But
Did
he
you
liked
like
it.
Yeah,
And
look,
I thought about heating it up in the microwave and trying, but I've already put the ice cream on the dishes. So I don't know. You might want to heat it up in the microwave a little bit to get it.
How long did it take you to make it? Prep time?
It's very quick.
Really?
'Cause I made my own crust. It says you can use packaged crust, but I used my own. And it said if you use a pie shell, choose the deep dish pie shell. But I just made one. It's a lot easier for me.
All right.
So
Well,
you can
thanks
try
a
it. And I
lot.
think you're. Let me put this over here.
Well, I'm going to tell what's in mine now. The Plantation casserole has 2 cups of cooked ham or chicken chopped, 1½ cups of cooked peas drained, just canned, will be all right, a can of cream-style corn, 1/4 pound of processed American cheese, a cup of evaporated milk divided between the first part of it and the second part of it, and a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And then for the little batter that goes around it, a cup of biscuit mix, a half a cup of cornmeal, 2 tablespoons of sugar, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 egg beaten. And you put all that in the oven at 400 big old degrees and have a good time with it one time, baby.
Meat and vegetable casserole, 6 cups of shredded cabbage, 1 medium onion slice, 2 tablespoons butter or margarine, 2 cups sliced potatoes, 1 pound ground meat, 1 15-ounce can of tomato sauce, 1 teaspoon of caraway seeds, seasoning to taste. I guess that means salt and pepper.
Well, here's what mine looks like, Doug.
Ooh,
You can see actually there's actually a hole where I poked my finger in it because Doris told me to do that to see if it was warm. But anyway, that
looks
is
beauteous.
roughly what it's supposed to look like, we think.
Do they
And
serve
it
this in the
smells
Plantation?
wonderful. It really does with all this
You
bread
think?
around it, all this marvelous bread. Oh, I'm telling you. Oh, thank you, Doris.
Here I go.
Thank you. We're going to go over to our brand new table, which I understand I mumbled so badly last week no one could hear what I was saying. Twist and turns.
Twist and
Here,
turn.
Roanoke, aren't these pretty?
Like you did last summer.
Summer. Oh, let's twist and turn like we did last year.
Well, I have a big bowl.
Well, aren't you going to, isn't that something? A great big bowl for Mr. Doug.
Here, give me a plate.
Okay. Oh, this plate.
He is
Little
so
joke there.
lame.
I'm sorry. It's the best I
Well,
can do.
enjoy.
Well, it sure does look pretty. Put your plate over here. Let me see if I can get you some of this big old thing.
Oh, look, a festive display.
Well, it is. Put it over here. Oh,
My arms are too short to box with God.
there we go. Well, it looks real pretty.
Ooh, sure
This
does.
is sort of bread and everything that goes with it. This is an entire
like a
meal.
meat.
This is why it's called a plantation meal, don't you see? I would assume.
Now, why would
anyway.
it? Oh, I was going to ask you.
Well, I mean,
Why do you think it's called Plantation?
well, because it's an all-in-one meal. You've got your bread, your meat, your vegetables, everything's in there that you could possibly need.
Well,
If
what does
you
that
work-
have to do with a plantation?
If you worked out on a plantation all day, you couldn't put this together. I don't know.
Boy,
I'm just
you
making this
you
up.
are just dying out here, aren't you?
Just trying to figure it out. Well, what do you think of that?
It's good.
All righty.
Yeah.
This smells wonderful. I think this is an unusual dish. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. I like it. What do you think?
It's good. I'm kind of surprised.
Yeah. What's this plantation goop all about?
It's great.
Is it really?
Has
I'll
all
tell you,
sorts
this
of goodies
Dolly,
in
I
it.
think Dolly knows what she's doing
I
on
think so
this.
too. Yum.
That's good.
Excellente.
It is.
Excellente.
Good.
I'll take a little.
And now for dessert.
Finally.
Let's see if, now of course you know that Doris would never buy store-bought ice cream, so let's see how her homemade ice cream is. Oh, Doris, it tastes just like store-bought. Oh, Harold's the ice cream maker. So I'm going to blame Harold for this. That's a lot of work making ice cream.
Delish.
Best dish of the day.
Afraid so. We always get
You're
shown
right.
up, don't you know? We always get shown up. It's not fair.
But she's really good on those things. That is really terrific.
Yum.
I wouldn't want a big piece of it. It's mighty sweet.
Oh, really?
And I wish that I had some water right now. I'm going to go back to this plantation thing. I think this is fascinating. I've
Okay,
never
I'm
seen
getting-
anything
I'm
quite
getting-
like it, really.
I'm getting to like this meat and vegetable thing better and better.
I think that grows on you. It has a little unusual taste, but I do like it. I really do. Well, I'll tell you what, folks.
I was sure the cabbage was.
It was worth showing up for. Did you enjoy it? I hope so.
I'll just keep eating over here. Do you mind?
You've been mighty quiet over there, Mr.
Why are
Doug.
they so good?
Okay. By the way, we're always looking for new recipes. Send them to us. If you don't want to send us your stuff by email, which is how we're getting most of it now, you can send it analog, which of course is
Excuse me?
just a plain old letter.
Oh.
If you want to. We'll accept your recipes just any old way, and we appreciate that. And that's about it, Doug. Bye.
See ya.
Take care.